Also, feel free to hop in the Premier's car and go west of the Blue Mountains. Go to a place called Oberon, where they have never had a case of coronavirus. It's just one of many regional examples around Australia where they have had to have the most punishing of lockdowns for no actual reason. They should have come out of lockdown way earlier than they currently have, but the local club boss in Oberon says this, that Oberon has not had any cases at this stage, and there's a lot of people in town thinking, what are we doing and why are we still locked up? He continues, I go up the street to do some shopping and I always get stopped by people asking, when are we going to reopen? I have to say, it's up to the Prime Minister. Well, it's not, it's actually up to the Premier. But you see, this in and of itself is part of the problem. Is that the Premiers are more than happy to make it seem like it's the evil Prime Minister who's deciding when or when not you're able to go back to work. But as we have seen all the way through this, if the Prime Minister had total control, kids would have always been in school. If the Prime Minister had total control, we'd already be at stage 2. Instead, we get this little baby step of stage 1, and some governments decide to give you part of stage 1. They'll give you 2 or 3 little toes on the first step towards recovery, when the truth is the numbers of those in hospital and the reason to be that cautious has now disappeared. We're an island. We're an island that cut off the main source of the virus, which was people coming in from overseas. That meant that we were able to do exactly what all of those health officials asked us to do. So now stop talking to us like children and start trying to get behind the more than 1 million people who don't have a job, or the up to 6 million people who only have a job because of government welfare that keeps them in that job. Now, before somebody wants to deliberately misinterpret this as some sort of Sky News primetime campaign, no, it's common sense. Talk to normal people. Talk to people in the bush. Let people outside of Sydney, Melbourne and Brisbane get to stage 2 faster than anywhere else. Why should people who don't live in Sydney be punished as if they did live in Sydney? Why should somebody on the New South Wales-Victoria border be punished as if they were in the worst affected suburbs or worked at a meatworks in Melbourne? Why should people who live in Rockhampton, Birdsville, Mount Isa or anywhere else in Queensland have to be punished because of what is happening in the southeast?